Hello.
Yo,
Reggie, at this point, you live in the car.
what?
I said, at this point, you live in the car.
At this point, I was gonna be traveling. Live my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Wow. So everybody started doing their own live and decided to come and be on one live. Love that for us.
Yes. The executive producer called us to bring this all to a head out of soon.
Yeah, because we need to start. Everybody needs to start having live on their personal lives. We need to start having live for actual proper productions.
Oh, well, that's not my choice.
Facts.
Can you hear
Y'all,
me?
y'all, y'all mentioned something about having marketing. This is marketing.
No, y'all.
Right. Because if y'all ain't gonna do it, we will.
Good.
So why would y'all try to be messy and bring Tony into y'all live?
I wasn't trying to bring him nowhere.
Well, that was Marciano.
Marciano, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because how that man gonna try to? That was the setup.
I mean, listen, I'm always down to hear what bullshit come out of people's mouth next. So
Bullshit, huh?
yeah, bullshit. I thought y'all was gonna do the live on Instagram.
I don't know.
It would have been better if y'all did it on Instagram.
It's better doing it on YouTube where the show is, so people will click it and watch it. And
Ooh,
we also,
y'all hear how Brandon be coming for me?
Chauncey and JT, y'all don't know this because y'all aren't in the other group anymore. But I don't have access to the Pop Up Productions Instagram page right now anyway.
What?
For whatever
Oh,
reason.
okay.
The morning after the show aired, I've been kicked out of the Instagram page. I don't know what happened. I'm trying to get it back.
What in the world?
Right.
That's crazy.
And walk enter Terrence. Hey Terrence, how you doing, sir?
What's up? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
So why are we all gathered here today?
Let's talk about the excitement of the show. What you mean? How we the best show on the block right now?
Okay, well, how about you as the producer ask us questions? Because right now it's dull.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think well actually JT, now I think about it, I didn't really ask you how you felt about the first episode, how you felt like you feel like your professional part was needed in like the vendor event and stuff like that, or no?
No, I don't think so. Because for me, I just was kind of like a spectator. At that time, like I didn't know anybody. I just walked up and I saw them people arguing. So I didn't really feel like I needed a professional for that. I felt like, we all get our introductions when we need to get them. But as far as the episode goes, I kind of liked it. I give it an 8 out of 10. Like, reason why I say an 8 out of 10 is because I kind of felt like it was kind of weird some parts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm back.
not it has nothing to do with production. It had nothing to do with the editing. None of that. It was just like certain conversations, and then the confessionals. Some of the confessionals kind of was weird. You know, but as far as the whole of the episode goes, I enjoyed it. The
Reggie,
quality
is that
looked
your
good.
background?
The quality
Probably.
looked good. What you call it? The intro was bomb. Like, I love the intro. The confessional quality was nice. I felt like the transitions were pretty good between scenes and the confessionals itself. So I liked it.
What about you, Mr. Styles? How you feel about it? You feel like everything was shown in a good light? We didn't really get to see much of you in the first episode, but that shit is soon to change, correct?
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be. It was a good way to start off the season. The intro was definitely fire. I appreciated the production of it, and yeah, everybody just did a great job for the most part. The episode per se, it
Now,
was just weird. Very weird. It kind of taken from a lot of stuff that happened in the last season that was spilled over. that I think some of it was unnecessary because for those that weren't there last season, we promised that we would leave what happened there. And apparently the people that said that they were over it, they weren't. And so that was just bothersome because that we made a pact that would happen. Like, hey, it's the things that was said. We're gonna move forward. We ain't got to be the best of friends. But then turn around, then it gets spilled over into being around the new group of people. So that was unsettling and disappointing. So,
But you couldn't be that
hold on.
surprised
Can
by
I
that, though,
piggyback
right,
real
Terrence?
quick? Can I piggyback real fast? I have to like agree in that
Sure.
space, like, because I remember that day and when I got there, one of the first few people I walked up on, I think it was on the side. That was when all of them were arguing, but when I walked over there with Teller, and then it was Terrence and Shantika. I think Liam was standing over there, and I specifically remember Terrence saying that, like he was like, I thought we were leaving this alone. Like I thought that everything that happened last season, we were going to leave it where it's at. But why are we talking about it now? And so that's where I was like, that small part of the first season. I mean, the first episode. It was weird to me because it was like, what are y'all talking about? Like, I
yeah.
was very confused. I was like, what is going on? Even when I walked up in the scene, which is why I said I don't think I needed a confessional for that, because I was like, what is going on? Like,
I got something to say. Being at the dinner,
mhm.
um, it seemed because I get that because obviously if y'all seen, like I said from the beginning, I felt like it was a bash black session, but I think that where the misconception is coming in is that I just feel like, and I'm not even saying this because it's like, oh, me and Rodney are friends. It will be anybody, like anybody. Again, I defended Black when I at that time I didn't even know him like that. But I think where the miscommunication keeps coming in, and there wasn't a lot of this that was seen or like put into the show, but just being there, it was more of like it kept seeming like it was coming up like that, but it was like Tony kept asking Rodney questions about Black. Like the first how it came up was because obviously we started talking about his event and and stuff like that, and then it got into, okay, well, how do you feel now? And it just kept, there was more questions that just came up, and all Rodney was doing was answering them. Like if you ask me something, I may be cool on somebody, but if you asking me questions, I'm gonna answer it.
I think, and I'm not. I don't speak. I don't take. I'm not taking up for Tony or anything like that. But I think when new people come into, they're gonna have questions. That's gonna be natural. I think the part that I think that Black was mentioned all of that scene. I
He
think where
was.
it should stop was Quan wasn't there, so include Quan in, let him know what happened, and then move on. It was about Rodney and his birthday dinner. Talk about Rodney. Like, what's your goals? What's your dreams? What you gonna do? You turn on a new year. Because y'all made it about Black, and that was too much. That was too
So,
much.
wait, I have one question. This is a question for y'all, like all as cast members. So y'all be on reality and stuff like that now. So even if somebody talk about a certain thing, right? Like you just said, Terrence, Rodney, Rodney could be talking about himself, right? They could talk about Rodney, right? When Tony asked that question about Black, couldn't they have easily changed the conversation? Even though y'all could have blatantly ignored Tony. Nobody made y'all talk
Well,
about Black.
actually, hold on, Reggie, because again, and this is what gave me the title of lapdog. But when I deaded the conversation, when I said, because I felt like he was trying to make something out, like there was a lot of things that y'all didn't put in there, but it wasn't even so much, oh, okay, I'm cutting Rodney off. It's like I see what was trying to be done. So as a friend, as a good friend, if my friend doesn't, if he's not catching on to what's being done, because all these questions are coming, I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna be like, all right, like let's chill, because you're trying to make you're trying to bring something else up, or you're trying to make something out of nothing that's not there. And that's what I kept trying to do the whole dinner, and that gave me the title of somehow a lapdog.
I have to say that when editing a show, you you're right. Not everything get put in there, but even if you looked at the raw footage, 90% of it was about black. And you probably try to stop it, but it still continued that way.
I said that though. I didn't disagree. I said the whole session was like a bash black session. I said that. I agree.
You only can take so much out, you feel me? Only can take so
I agree.
So my question is, since it was a bash black session, who was actually bashing her? Let's really be specific.
Oh.
I think it was very clear who was doing it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's my thing. Even in that situation, which I think is going to unfold later, and of course, it's not Chauncey can speak for himself, but I kind of noticed that a lot of people end up getting energy that didn't really need the energy. You get what I'm saying? Like, because even after that situation, doesn't that come along later where Chauncey end up getting in something else with them and they think that he said something that he didn't and all kind of stuff like that? But this is now a starting point to this entire season where we're going to witness who really be having these conversations and who really be saying the things that be said.
Well, I think it's a lot of people in this cast that does that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people say things, and then when they get to them in person, they don't bring those things up, or they switch around the narrative. I think, for instance, when at the live show, it was mentioned about editing was done. You can't edit that scene was a good 10 minutes. Seemed like, how you
Right.
gonna edit knowing you talked about this man the whole time? Just own, yes, I talked about you. It was about you.
I don't really
Yes, that's how I felt, and move on. Like, that's it. And these people are going to accept it or they're not going to accept it. But to go blame editing, that's not cool. And then say, oh yeah, we good, but then turn around and then you bashing this man. Then you're not good. And that's okay. Say that. Because again, I'll go back. When we left that reunion, we talked, we said, hey, things were said, things were had. The people that went in on that reunion was Black and I. Black and I are in a much better place. Why? Because we were grown adults. We gave each time and space to be able to say, hey, things were said. We want to move forward. We're going to be cordial. We might not be the best of friends or buddies, but let's move forward. And that's what you do. If you're not going to do that, then say that. And so that way that person knows how to move. Period.
One thing that I think is weird though, when it comes to that conversation or that scene, and I'm just gonna say it. I don't got any ill with nobody. Love everybody, except you know who. But anyways, with that dinner though, it's just, to me, it's weird that it's like Rodney was bringing it up. He just kept talking, but the main person that was the closest with Black is Quan.
Okay.
So if somebody's, like, for instance, if I'm sitting at a dinner table and somebody's going in on JT, that's not about to happen. And yet, somehow, a conversation or a Bash Black session was able to go on without stopping it, except for me trying. And I don't see anybody saying anything about that. I don't think that that's cool.
I think it was put out there that Quan was being shady. He even said that. He said it in his confession. He made that known that he was being shady. Nobody else was owning up to their shadiness at that table.
They were not.
They weren't. I mean, at least Quan owned it.
That is true.
Nobody else was. Everybody was saying, "Oh, I'm good. Oh no, I'm good with him. Oh no, I'm good with him." No, you're not, and that's fine if you're not. But just say that you're not. Don't perpetrate that you're good with him and you're not good with him. And then going at the pop-up shop, he arrives, and then he makes a face at the camera and then go run and hug him. I wasn't cool with Black at that time. When you see him wave, that was me. That was him waving at me. I ain't go run up and hug him. That shows that you phony and you fake. That you shouldn't do no shit like that. People looking at you side-eyed. If you don't fuck with him or ride with him, then don't fuck with him or ride with him. Period. Until you can figure it out between the two of y'all.
So Terrence, help me understand one thing, Terrence. So, with being in reality, and, even those situations that are in the past, someone will find their way back to the light. So do you feel like it's kind of impossible to kind of just keep things buried for too long? Especially if somebody don't feel like their story got told or got a resolution.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying to bury it. I'm saying y'all two need to work this shit out. If you can't say that you're good with somebody and then turn around and you want to bash them and talk about them behind their back, and when they approach you about it, you're gonna say, "Well, who told you?" Or tell me what was said. No, bitch, tell me what you said. Tell me what you said. Don't worry about what was said to me. Tell me what you said. So we
Yeah,
can
so
either work this
but
shit out
again,
or not deal with
that
each other
part
at
right there,
all.
that right there is the craziest and the most weirdest thing to me, because it's like people are coming to him like, oh well, like, what was said, you said this, da 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 da, and but Rodney said exactly what he said. He didn't say anything different. He said exactly
Okay.
what he said at the table. And
Okay.
then, but when it came to the other question, when Black was like, oh well, I heard this, da da da, it was asked, okay, well, what did you hear? But you couldn't say that other part.
Y'all had to know it was gonna go back to him. Come on now.
No, and first of all, nobody didn't think that it wasn't. Obviously, again, Quan is there, so obviously it's gonna go back to him. Nobody was worried about that, but nobody backed down when he came and approached him and said what was said. But when Black said that there was more being said, all that was asked was, okay, well, what was the more? And we were not given that.
So
No,
Chauncey,
he said that in the beginning of the conversation. He was like, "This is y'all said, well, what was said? No, tell me what you said." He said that in the very beginning of the conversation before it got into the deep part. He said
that part I won't get into, because that was him and Rodney. So,
but what got me was that he put you in it, and you wasn't even a part of the season last. That's what.
Well,
that's
no. Okay,
so
so that's the part where, and I don't know. Okay, let me say this without saying too much. I can't. Damn, never mind. I gotta wait.
That's all I'm going to say. That's it.
So
and that was unnecessary.
What we can talk about though, Chauncey, is at the vendor event though, and the part of the conversation started. So you feel like Rodney had a handle on it. You didn't really need to say much, correct?
Say that one more time.
So you feel like at the conversation at the vendor event between you, Black, London, Rodney, nothing else. You didn't need to say anything, right? Because Rodney had pretty much a handle on it, correct?
Correct.
Oh, okay. I just want to clarify, because I mean, was you being so at that point you were just being a friend? You didn't really need to be in the conversation then if you had nothing to say, right?
Well, when the conversation was starting to be directed towards me, that is when I jumped in. At the end of the day, I think one thing that people need to understand, and I'm never gonna take it back or whatever. That's my friend, and where I come, I don't know how anybody else operate, but where I come from, sometimes you have, when you got a friend group of two or whatever. Sometimes you got the friend that they're not a fighter, but then you got the other friend that's like, they there to square up, and that's the type of person that I am with anybody. I when I see somebody, when I see a narrative is wrong, or I see I could be, or I see, I'm just like that with anybody. I'm like that with JT. One point I was like that with London. I was doing it with Black, and I didn't even know Black at the time. That's just my character.
So let me ask you this then. So do you feel like, but sometimes you can be friends with people, right? But sometimes some battles for some friends is not the right thing to step for your own character and your own story.
That part.
And I agree. But when things started going, again, though, you have to understand, when things started going left, because you're right. And I'm only going to do but so much, because at the end of the day, Rodney's a grown man. When it started getting crazy is when the conversation started being directed towards me. Like I was talking shit.
Do you know why that happened, though?
Say that one more.
Do you know why that happened?
I do.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say too much.
Okay. I just want to know if you know why it happened. That's all.
JT, what JT, you've been quiet for too long. So what you thinking, JT? Are you agreeing with Rodney? With Chauncey, what he's saying about that? If they're my friend, I'm gonna involve myself in it no matter. Or you feel like you agreeing with what Terrence saying, that you should, like, sometimes you gotta pick and choose what friends to come stick up for due to your own narrative. Give me a response, JT.
I feel a little bit of both, to be honest with you. Only because there are certain situations where I think people don't know how to properly explain themselves. You get what I'm saying? So, like in the dynamic between Chauncey and Rodney, I feel like Rodney is one of those people that if you say one thing in that conversation, he'll stick to that one thing instead of actually getting to the objective and getting an understanding of what the issue is. And then Chauncey will probably slide in there and be like, oh, well, that's not what it is. So let me go ahead and say something to try to clarify. And then it ends up messing him up because now the energy transitions to Chauncey because Chauncey may have hit a nerve in that point. So that's why I say I can kind of feel on both ends of the spectrum where it's like sometimes you feel like you have to be that explanation for your friend, but then other times where it's like you being that explanation can kind of put you in the forefront of the mess and the nonsense. So I can kind of get that because I mean I've been in that same space, which in case some people will see in the show, I've been in that same space with a couple friends. I do that in real life, so I mean I get that too. But yeah, like I felt like in that particular situation, I think Chauncey is just being the normal friend that he is in general, and I can't fault him for that. I just think that in this particular dynamic and group, it's unfortunate that you can't be that person. That's just how I see it.
Okay, okay. I just want to move on to another quick topic real quick. Nobody really talked about. I talked about it with I heard some comments, but I never really heard comments. So, how did y'all feel about the after watching this live show and Rodney being the first guest? Like, y'all feel like it was pointless. It had its point. How y'all feel about
Uh, uh,
Um, I didn't really have nothing about it. Like I didn't watch the whole thing. I kind of felt like, I mean, with the after show being at about each episode, I guess it does make sense because Rodney was in this episode. But you know, it is what it was. I don't have nothing against Rodney or anything like that. But I mean, it was kind of boring. Not necessarily on the production or anything of that nature. It's just I felt like Rodney has a habit of being a little facetious. So I just kind of was like, it's not hitting like it's supposed to hit. But that's all I have and had a thought on when it come down to the after show.
it? Chauncey, Terrence?
I'll be last.
oh, I feel like okay. I feel like when it kind of because it kind of seemed like y'all didn't like how it was like, or like people were saying like it was like the Rodney show, da 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 da. So I feel like y'all doing that. Oh, okay, let me just say this. I feel like with a new, with this being a new season, I think that it should have been somebody from the new cast on it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, just to ask you another question that just hypothetically, and depending on what happens later on in the season. So we had used somebody off the first episode, then they had something more important happen that would have more weight to it. When that became a weight, just curious.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure there will be certain situations throughout the season where y'all would like to have, because that happens all the time, where somebody will come on, they'll do, an after show, and they may need to, something else explosive may happen, and you know what I mean? That I don't think that it should be, one. It's like, okay, once you're on the after show, you can't do another after show. If you think about it, no reality show does that.
I get where he's coming from though. I think too at the same time, we do have 30 people on our cast. So it's kind of like we have but so many episodes and most likely either not everybody's gonna do a live or some people are gonna be doubled up.
You're absolutely correct, JT. We've planned it out by the amount of cast members that we have and the amount of episodes, who will be on what episode doing an after show live. And there will be situations where there can be multiple people from the cast on there at the same time. But I want it to be more so where there's a special guest that has nothing to do with the show is the other guest.
I like that.
But go ahead, back to you, Terrence. Go ahead and explain how you feel. We I ain't forget about you, Terrence.
All right, so I'm going to start off with this. I don't have beef or issues with anybody. Now, on the opposite, people can have beef and issues with me. That's fine. So the situation with Rodney being on the live, I really thought it was a slap in the face and a disrespectful to the. And I've said this to EP already, that to the people that stayed to the end. It's like somebody that quit a job and you invite them to the holiday party. Why? For what? In that case, bring Carl back to do a live. Bring Tell It back to do a live. That's my thing. I just felt like it was a disrespect to the people who rode this ride, despite who I care for, don't care for, ride with, don't ride with. We all rode this ride to the end. Exclamation point. So to bring somebody back on who left the kitchen when the shit got hot, and then now you want to be on the live. If somebody approached me and said, "Oh, you Terrence, won't you be on the live?" and I laughed, "No, I'm good," because you're claiming you're doing big things, right? Then continue to do your big things, but do that over there to the left. All right. So that's just how I felt. And there are a couple of other castmates that felt the same way. So for me, I agree with JT. Never thought I would agree with JT on this, but I would agree with JT on this. It was boring. And when he got called on shit, he lied. He wanted to blame it on editing. Just own your shit, dude. That's it. Own your shit. Own the shit that you do right. Own the shit that you wrong. Own the shit when you shady. All that. Did not do that. So I didn't see the whole thing, but the part I saw, I was like, I'm over it. Over it. It was a waste of time, energy. It was a waste of production time and energy. It was a waste of whoever spot that was energy. It was a waste of energy. So you should have been, if you're going to do a poll, and everybody votes the poll and you go against the poll, then what's the point of the goddamn poll? We voted for Black and Chauncey to be the first people to do the live. It made perfect sense. He left, gone, bye. They want to say, "Oh, the girl's still talking about me." No, you're still being brought up to us. The show still goes on without you, and it's better without you. Period.
So for me as the executive producer of the show, I made the executive decision to put Rodney there because for the viewers of last season, just like they are asking questions right now, did Rodney quit the show? I feel like the viewers are entitled to being able to have some form of closure with Rodney. If they were a diehard fan of Rodney, if they hated Rodney, what's wrong with the viewers being able to hear from them? I understand people having their personal feelings about Rodney or about how they feel like I should or should not have had Rodney there. But this is producing a reality show. Not to be mean, but when Andy Cohen them fired Phaedra, she's been on 2 spinoffs and she's on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen and at BravoCon with them. Nobody is sitting there whining and crying. Candy's not screaming, "She's gone. Why is she back?"
Well, I do want to say this.
No, I and you explained that to EP and I got it. It wasn't about crying. It was just that was just my take on it. And I'm not a person who that really gets in my feelings about anything. I just thought it was disrespect. I told you this. That was just how I felt. I expressed it. But when you told me, I got what you're saying. I'm not. You're the EP. You do what you want to do. I get that. I do. Absolutely. But I wouldn't be me if I didn't express something that I felt on my heart. Because one thing I've learned over the years is not to hold on shit and build up, and then you get to the tip and you blow the fuck up. And I'm like, damn, I just put the pen on the table. That's it. And then you blow on up. So
I
want to say something real quick.
I'm not responding in this moment out of anger or anything like that, because me and you have had this conversation.
Yeah, we did. And I respect you on that.
The viewers who are watching haven't been privy to this conversation, so I'm giving back the same thing that I gave that night.
Right, so, you're right. And
so Brandon, add Black. Send him the link.
He has the link. That's okay, but I will add.
I want to say something real quick because I'm all about fairness. I just feel like the reason why everybody's asking about him is because if you think about it, like, you guys are pushing him to the forefront, so they're gonna ask. I do agree with Terrence. I do think it's unfair because you did have people that did, go to the end. Like, for instance, if I quit the show, it's like it would be kind of messed up if y'all chose me to be on the after show the first time. That would be kind of messed up.
And I just
Well,
don't want to be put out there. Oh, they gonna bring my name up. No, baby, I don't.
well,
Your name's being brought up to me.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Out of respect for not even respect, but just from our point side of things, some of these other people that are getting brought up, if Ronnie did leave, and me out of everybody, we expressed our concern with Ronnie about that, but he didn't leave necessarily as bad terms as other people probably had left the show, if that makes sense.
Neither did Tell It. Don't do it. Neither did Tell It. I'm just saying. I'm all about fairness.
Fairness is right, but okay. Answer this then, Chauncey. This hypothetical. You're EP of the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody leave the show, your show,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But when they leave the show, they disrespect or criticize something that you care about.
What's up, y'all?
Will you still come back? Will you still be okay with them coming back?
If they criticize, if they are going to bring ratings,
Hold on,
if they're
let's
going
pause
to
for a
bring
second,
viewers,
because
absolutely.
I think we have to add context to that, because that was too blank. If at the end of the day, we have to really talk about how it actually went. There was a misconstrued moment where he said something that hit our EP the wrong way. And the EP responded to it by doing what now? There was not a quitting situation. There was a what? A firing, correct?
No. You're absolutely
Okay.
correct.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So hold on. I just wanted to give full context to it. So
Yeah.
after that happened, every action has a reaction. And whether it's right or wrong, because I'm not saying what happened was right, because I was right up there with him, because it pissed me off too. But what I'm saying is, when something like that happens, and instead of it being a discussion to get full clarity on both sides, as we have seen, there's a reaction, and he reacted the way he reacted. So that's how we get to the place that we have gotten. So if we're going to speak on the people who actually left the show versus being fired from the show over a misunderstanding, we have to talk about the differences. So those are two different things.
That's great.
So,
That's great.
Hold on 1 second, Reggie. Let me speak really fast.
You ready,
So
Marcus?
I will agree with everything that JT just said, but one thing. So
Hey, D.
Taylor did not. Okay, who is all that noise?
I think it's somebody in their car. It ain't me.
Okay. So Taylor, you are absolutely correct. Taylor didn't quit, and I would honestly say that I didn't fire Taylor. The way that I handled the situation was entirely wrong in that moment. It was a heated, emotional moment. I removed Taylor from the group chat. Yes, I did. But Taylor messaged me privately, and he wanted to have a conversation. And I messaged him back, and I told him that we were having the meeting, and that for him to come to the meeting with everybody. And if I remember correctly, he was like, okay. So
That is true.
he was on pause until the meeting. But Taylor showed up at a scene that we filmed. I saw him, he saw me, he walked past me, whatever. Everything went the way it went.
Somebody need to mute that phone.
What's
making all that noise?
I don't know what it is, but after that, Taylor got on his own personal live and called me a disrespectful bitch, a disrespectful ass bitch. He don't understand why people does these reality shows, because it doesn't benefit anybody that's a rapper. He wanted to make sure that we did not use him in the show, remove him out of all these. That's what happened. Now, me and Taylor never had a conversation about what happened, because he went off instead of coming to have the conversation. So that's the difference in that moment. I think Taylor was amazing. I've always said from day one, Taylor's rapping skills are A1. I feel like Taylor could have been where Saucy Santana is right now.
Absolutely. Speak on it.
That situation happened between two grown-ass men, and it did not get handled appropriately. The way it was initiated was fucked up by me. I can admit to that. But to also hear that Taylor told someone that he spared my life, that's where I have a problem. Because those are not little words that you just play around with. Sparing somebody's life means, bitch, I was gonna kill you.
Okay, so let's be clear about that whole situation. Though between him and Rodney, those are definitely two major different situations.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
that's completely two major differences. So tell it shouldn't even have been brought up at all. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing about with Rodney, the only thing that I was upset about, and pretty much, well, I really wasn't upset because I understand the production thing. It's just the fact is that Rodney pussy. That's how I
That
feel
part.
about it.
That
Rodney's
part.
pussy. So you get up here and you have the opportunity to come back on our platform that we worked so hard to build and mold and all this stuff for the full season of Set It Off, the premiere season. You come back up here and you popping your shit like you been here the whole time and like you weren't running away from people.
Exactly.
That was my issue with him.
That
Now
was
I
my
don't mind him. I don't mind the fact that he came and did the live and all that stuff like that. It's just the fact is, bitch, be humble.
Yep.
Because you actually just got an opportunity to grow your brand a little bit more when they paying you pennies over there. Like you got an opportunity to grow your brand a little bit more because Set It Off is growing. You should pay homage to that. Don't come on our platform and start talking all this shit like you just been there. Girl, you ran. Talk
Yep.
about you needed a mental break. Everybody was going through something. Let's be clear. Everybody on
Exactly.
this live can vouch for me. When Rodney quit, we all were going through something, correct?
We
Correct.
was.
Absolutely. That's my point. Rodney is pussy. He
It's a
had no
scapegoat.
business coming on here doing all that extra shit. You can
That was
talk
my point.
and you can say, okay, yeah, I did what I did. You can throw your little fun shade, it's cute, whatever like that. But bitch, don't come on here like you just that girl, because you're not. Like you're
So,
not.
so Black, I got a question from me hosting the show, right?
Okay.
And we couldn't get an opportunity to really hear what you were saying, which sucks, right? You
Right.
were saying some extra wild things. So now I want to ask you. So hearing what Rodney said about your product and stuff like that, and it wasn't just left alone to the whole 8 ounces thing. He said more. What are your true feelings on it now? Like, is that why you call he's pussy? You so called?
Okay, so I felt like Rodney, he wanted a moment when it came down to my product. Because let's be clear, Rodney didn't never purchase anything. Nobody from this cast actually purchased any of my products, so nobody have anything to say about it. Don't well take that. Well, you're right. I said the cast because production has purchased, but as far as the cast goes, nobody has anything to say about my products because they never purchased them. And let's be clear about the FDA situation with natural skincare products that are mixed in your home. You don't need FDA approval. So I need people to understand that even though I have my information, you don't need it. So for bitches who are trying to come for my kids' brand, you got another thing coming. Let's be clear. Rodney, you came out with a pamphlet. And when people watch this season, they're gonna understand why you didn't have a bestseller. Why you're lying.
Can we get on another topic? Because y'all made the whole last season about Rodney, and we not about to.
No, listen, we are on this topic because he asked me a
What?
question. The thing is, the whole first episode was dedicated to something about me that happened last season. My thing is with people, when you say you're done with something, leave it there. Leave it there because Chauncey, honestly, they started this situation with me. Just like last season, I ain't say nothing bad about nobody. Even in the first episode, my confessionals were genuine to everybody, correct?
Oh no, Black. I agree with you, but I'm just saying, if like, especially with him like leaving the show and stuff like that, it's like, can we?
Who fault was that?
Another topic.
But this what he wanted. This is why he was on the whole. This is what he wanted.
Give him what he want. Y'all gave him.
This is what he wanted.
They gave him what he wanted.
This is what he wanted.
Since he got it, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, good.
And that's the only thing I'm gonna talk about it because at the end of the day, it happened.
This right here, this is why they made the executive decision to put him on the after show.
But y'all sat for 10-15 minutes bashing Black on the first
Wait.
episode. Why
Who's
can't you
y'all?
go talk about him?
Who's y'all?
Well, it ain't y'all, but yeah, they all didn't bash me.
Well,
but
I'm
at
not
the end
saying,
of the
when I
day,
say y'all, I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying
yeah,
he did. So why can't he now? You Black talk about.
Because I really haven't had the opportunity to actually say what I needed to say about that episode because of the sound the other day. And the thing about it is, I really feel like Rodney tried to play the situation. You sitting here talking about beefing and stuff. We ain't beefing, but you clearly making it seem like we're actually beefing.
Right.
Like that's why I was confused. Like, bro, we were good. We didn't have no issues, but you get jumping your confessionals doing all the extra shit, even though I know how it works and I don't feel no type of way about it. But girl, that's what we talk about, backpedaling. That's what you do. That's what you do. You get in front of me and you're one way, but then you get in your confessionals and do a whole different thing.
So I guess I have a question. So Black, So,
My
who do
bad.
you think were like a part of the bashing session, and who actually bashed and who didn't? You saw the episode. Who do you think actually bashed
I
and who
feel
didn't?
I feel like I definitely feel like Rodney was still in his feelings about a lot of stuff. He was still in his feelings, and it's very evident that he's still in his feelings about that. The fact that you're saying that you're owed an apology. I don't feel like I owe you an apology for anything at all. I don't feel like I should have reached out to you about anything. Again, because that situation happened last year, and we were done with it at the reunion, right, Terrence?
Thank you for saying that. Did we or did
We
we not? Before we left, say what happened here. Things went wrong, went left. We're gonna move forward. We're not gonna bring this into the new season. Yet we did that, and
absolutely
then
we did,
you
and then
turn around and do the same. You turn around and go against that.
the fact that he brought Chauncey in it, that's what pissed me off even
That's what
more.
pissed me off.
Because Chauncey didn't have nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
London didn't have anything to do with it. It's simple. If Tony's asking, Tony messy. We know that. Tony's messy as
But he's
hell. And
asking
it's cute.
questions. Y'all
It's
want to point
cute
the
for
finger
him.
like this man is creating a whole shit. He asking questions.
I
He don't
got
Yeah,
know
he's
shit.
asking questions. Those are general
I got
questions
a
for somebody who used to be a viewer. Let's be clear, he used to
I
be a
got
viewer.
I
So
got a
therefore
question.
he has every right to ask his questions. But the way that you answer it, okay, yeah, me and Black ain't got we had issues, but we good. And you leave it at that, but you went on to start talking shit about me. That's where it seemed like we had an issue. That's just like me and Chauncey, for instance. We're talking about skincare or whatever like that. Me and Chauncey good on the same page. Me getting behind his back amongst a group of people in this group talking about, oh yeah, Musclab suck. But Chauncey ain't never heard that come out my mouth
I got a quick
until
question.
somebody else tells him, like, come on, bro, what kind of shit is that? And you say we cool? We ain't friends, but we cool? That shit weird. It's weird.
It's whack as
Well,
fuck.
I got a question for you and Terrence. How do you? Honest question. How do y'all feel, or what did he do that made y'all feel like he brought me into the situation?
When you started feeling like you had to defend me,
Exactly.
that's when you were brought into that situation. Because you saying this feels like a bash Black situation, the moment you open your mouth, you were involved.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
how
don't
it
know,
was.
So, but
but
That's
wouldn't
why
that
I asked you
wouldn't that be
earlier.
saying
Do you
that
know
Chauncey
why? Do
involved
you know
himself
why
more?
it went left?
So what,
But
JT?
no, I'm saying like what JT said something.
I thought she did.
No,
No,
I
but I'm
didn't.
saying like what Black and Ted. I just want to ask another question before y'all keep answering. If Rodney and if Chauncey go ahead and defend Rodney, right? But that's Chauncey is his own man, so he kind of inserted himself. I don't think Rodney brought him
No,
into it.
Chauncey didn't have to defend. He was more so saying, why are y'all bashing Black? Me and Chauncey didn't even know each other right then and there. So if Chauncey had the mindset to listen to them, me and Chauncey probably won't be on a good page right now. But the fact that he had his own mind to be like, okay, yeah, now y'all giving Black a lot. He was involved at that time. For y'all to have that conversation around a new group of people like that and Rodney to go in so hard, like it involved them. Tony was involved, London was involved, and even Quan. All of them had something to do with it in some way, shape, form, or fashion, to the point which led to the second event of me confronting Chauncey and Rodney. If Chauncey would have never been there, I would have never said anything to Chauncey. You feel where I'm coming from?
Totally.
Right. So yeah, he got involved, and it was fucked up because he should not have been involved. You should not have brought anybody else into that situation. If somebody asks you a question, just like doing an interview, you can either choose to plead the fifth, not answer the question, or answer it in a way that doesn't fuck up a relationship that you're trying to build. That's what people do. He's a podcaster. So clearly he knows how to interview. Rodney wanted to be messy.
He know the difference. But this is the narrative that I'm tired of hearing. Stop saying that we're bringing you up. We're not. It's being brought to us. So now we got to talk about the shit.
That's because I damn sure didn't want to. After he
I
quit,
didn't
I
want.
was
Once
like,
he
shit,
left,
I'm
I didn't
over
want
it.
to hear his name no more. That's the narrative I'm tired of hearing. I want everybody to be successful on this show, no matter if I fuck with you or not. Outside of that, I don't give a fuck what you do, how you get there. If you want to suck dicks to get to the top, baby, do it.
And see, that's why I am the way I am about everybody on this platform. Like, everywhere I go, every time I perform, every time I do anything, I shout everybody out. Like, I'm not that type of person to bring nobody down because I understand how each and every last one of us worked hard to get to where we are right now. Rodney didn't have that privilege. He didn't have that privilege. Like, I feel like everybody on this platform should feel disrespected because he quit.
Exactly. That was my point. And people are
He quit.
entitled to their feelings. Y'all are. But that was just my point. That was it.
Right.
That was it. Nothing more, nothing less. But I'm actually tired of hearing this man, and I know he's going to be in a couple more episodes. But I don't really want to hear his name anymore. But I know we got to talk about the shit. But I'd rather talk about people who have been
So,
there for the end of the long haul.
So Terrence, I know you always have been that person who say what you say, you don't give a fuck about how everybody else feel and all that great stuff, right? But like, you don't feel no personal way. 'Cause at one point, you even for the pilot season, you, Enrique, and Rodney, y'all had like a acquaintanceship, like, you know, like y'all were cool. So you don't feel nothing at all. Like, I
So
think when I present you,
let me
Rodney.
make this clear. And I think a lot of people, the people on here, especially Black, I don't use that F word loosely. I don't use it just frivolously, just like running water. I don't. So first of all, Rodney and I were never friends. Number one.
Y'all were growing.
Two, we were getting to know each other. The Rodney that I knew last season is not this Rodney that came back this season.
Oh,
so the Rodney
hell
that
no.
showed up this season is the Rodney who truly is that Rodney. When we did that reunion, Enrique and I had a conversation with him in the room, and we explained to him about how what he was doing and his backpedaling. So for him to come back and try to, never mind. But for
Hold on,
other
Terrence.
shit,
Hold on.
not
Terrence,
cool.
hold on. That's the Rodney that was on that recording.
Right.
That's the Rodney that was on that recording. That's the Rodney.
Right.
That's him.
Right. That's the Rodney. Right. Right. So we were never friends. We were getting to know each other. The only friend that I had last season was Enrique. That was it. And I made that very clear multiple times.
Sure did.
Multiple times. So nobody can say, well, y'all were friends. No, the fuck we weren't. I know the true meaning of friends. Trust me. And we were not.
It even had got to the point where you even said that to the point where it's like y'all had to correct him even at the reunion and told him about the backpedaling and all this stuff. So it wasn't news to him. Like, the shit
right, but he made
news.
it seem like it was news. I've said this to you in your face.
Yeah, bro, calm down. He weird. It's just weird. I don't like that. And then they be mad when people respond to stuff. I'm responding to it because at the end of the day, bro, don't get in front of my face and be one way and then get behind my back and do all that extra stuff. I just find that weird. I would rather I respect you more being a person like Terrence, telling me exactly how you feel in my face versus going behind my back doing something like that. I don't know how to move. I trust Terrence more than a lot of people on this platform. Because one thing I could trust Terrence to do is tell me the truth. That's weird.
I wish a lot of people on this platform would do that.
So we're gonna move to a more positive topic. So, seeing how successful episode 1 has been going, please, for all the viewers here, please go to the Pop-Up Production page, go check it out. We love you. I love you. We love your support. But now, I want to ask every cast member here, what do y'all think the story better go from here? Like, after y'all seeing all the shocking confessionals, all this stuff, where do you think the story better go from here?
I just hope everybody buckles their seatbelts because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Period.
I agree with Black on that. I need people. This is what I'm gonna need people to do, and that includes me. I'm adding myself in this. I'm gonna need people that when the same energy that you have in your confessionals, when it's time to present yourself in front of the people that you need to present yourself in front of, I'm gonna need you to have that same goddamn energy. 100, 1000%. That's it.
Chauncey, JT.
What was the question again?
JT.
So basically, I asked, now that we're all the excitement from episode 1, where do y'all feel like the story about to go from here on out? Like the next episode and so forth?
I think, for one, what I've been saying from the beginning, and I think I'll be validated, there's a lot of people who think that they're cool with certain people, and they will find out that they're not. That's all I got. Sir.
For me, I would hope that it would just all make sense in the end. Like, because the first episode was cool, but like them confessionals just didn't add up. They don't match. And as Terrence said, which he said earlier, like he can't believe he would agree with me. I can't believe I would agree with him. But keep that same energy. Like the way those confessionals were set up in that first episode, I would really hope when the rest of the season plays out and when it is time for us to do this reunion and we all come together again, because none of us have basically seen each other since whenever, like, I really hope everybody gives that same type of time and energy, because
The
if you're not
confessionals,
giving
you're
that,
right. They don't match.
yeah, because what was
Yeah,
the purpose?
the
Like I was
only
saying
person.
before,
Go ahead, JT. My bad.
uh, oh, you're fine. I was saying before, and I actually want Terrence and Black's opinion because me and Chauncey already discussed this. What I was saying before was the way that confessional was set up with Tony specifically, it really had kind of grind my gears a little bit because it was like the energy was so aggressive. Like it was almost like a persona, in my
So I'm gonna
opinion.
tell you, I'm gonna get into that. And this, we are on a reality series.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get into it. So the thing is, what I need people to understand is you got to play your storyline out.
Mhm.
I didn't have no issues with anybody in the beginning, correct? When
Correct.
I gave, well, other than the situation with Rodney, but my very first initial confessional, it wasn't reading nobody down. It wasn't saying nothing negative about anybody or anything like that. I know how to play my storyline out. So some people, because it wasn't just him, he wasn't the only one. It was Antonio too. Some people like to take their feelings from the end of the season and put them to the forefront.
That's
Those
exactly what I
forefront,
said earlier.
But it don't
it,
match.
it
That's
don't
what it
match
didn't make any sense.
exactly.
Why are
But
you bringing energy that just happened maybe a month ago to a time
exactly.
that we're
So,
talking about something that happened 7 months ago?
but since y'all giving that energy, I expect you to give that energy throughout the whole season.
Mhm.
Because when I see you at the reunion, I would like to have that same exact energy that you giving me on this first episode. Because at the
Mhm.
end of the day, I don't go with that flip flop type mess. I understand some of us are in a good place, especially me and Antonio. We're in a great place right now. But when you get there and we start having those different conversations, I need that same exact energy, babe.
No
Or
cap.
Exactly.
can I add this, Black? Even if you go in your confessionals and you say something that you know probably is going to get to somebody, at least let them know.
Absolutely.
At least let them know, hey, I did this because I felt this, and this. Give you a fair warning so don't catch you off guard. At least
Mhm.
if anything, do that. If
I hate
anything,
20
do
so
that.
bad. I'm finna get
Hear
out.
this. If you do or don't do it, it just your confessional just gotta make sense.
They
That's
do.
really it.
They
Like
do.
it's just like because even with that situation, that
Come on,
scene,
bro.
it
Turn
just
it
did
off.
not make sense.
Turn it
Tony, you
off, bro.
just met Chauncey, and you're calling him and Rodney bitch ass niggas. You calling Chauncey a monkey. Like, what is that? Like, that was
Hey,
so
Ebony.
weird. So it's
He
kind of
back.
like it just doesn't match. It doesn't make sense. So now when the time comes when we watch the rest of the season play out, everybody gonna be looking dumb and be like, okay, Tony has all these issues, but we don't see them. We don't actually get to see why he has these issues with these people. Because you'll never see it on camera. Like, that's just true tea. What has Tony really been in for him to be mad at anybody?
I
Well,
guess we'll
I would.
find
At that
out.
point was
We'll
weird.
find
It was
out.
weird, but
Correct.
me and him, we are on a good page, and it didn't make sense. The truth is the truth. Like it didn't make sense, and that's no
I
Yeah.
shade at all. That's just looking at it from a castmate standpoint and from a viewer standpoint. It didn't make sense.
so
But
I
Correct.
will say
we
for me,
also don't know. We also don't know what transpired for him to say those things when he did his confessionals too. We don't know that.
But think about this, Terrence. Now, and this, you know how I feel about him. We good,
Right.
but think about this. Like when you were giving questions and all that stuff like that, I can understand him coming at Rodney the way he did, but Chauncey,
So
That
that
was a little
interview that he
different.
gave Chauncey
Nah,
was
that
from
was a little
something that
different.
did not happen in that moment. When
It
you're
it
doing
did
a
it did catch
confessional,
me
they
off guard.
ask
And
you
I
for
told
stuff.
him it did. It did catch me off
Yeah, I
guard.
was like,
I
you're
told him
supposed to
that.
be talking about what happened in that moment, how you
And then
feel
his
in
voice,
that
and then
moment.
his voice got extra deep, girl. I was like, "Who this guy up here?"
Exactly. And here's my question. Where was the finger that he was talking about?
I asked about that as well. He said it wasn't shown. He said it happened, but it wasn't shown.
I never put my hand. He was literally on the side of London.
Because when I
Like,
told him, it said it made it look like it never happened when he mentioned it in his confession.
no, I'm saying it never happened. If I'm gonna put my finger in your face, I'm gonna do something. The fuck?
No, girl, no, you ain't. Shut up.
Let's
But
So
even
Yes,
in
Black.
we're
I'll
not
put my
gonna
finger
use
in your
in that
face.
we're not gonna use
conversation though,
production as a scapegoat this
let's
season.
not blame
They
it
did
on
it
the edit.
they did it last season.
Oh, I'm
Right?
not.
Reggie,
I
Don't
didn't
cop
say
no plea
anything was said.
I will
I'm not
say
for
this
him.
from a production aspect that
I'm
I
not.
don't remember that finger.
Yeah,
that
I'm
didn't
not
happen.
using it
We
as a
know it didn't
scapegoat.
happen because in that conversation, nothing in that conversation warranted anybody's finger going in anybody's face.
Right.
Now, Chauncey is a person who talks with his hands.
He
So
does.
if he maybe was moving his hands or whatever while they're talking, cool. But as we saw in that conversation, there was never no malice or ill intent between him and, and Tony.
Made me think it was
So Tony is just making up stuff.
Now I will say this. So we all can agree that there's one cast member that got added throughout the season, and their name
There's
is
a
Group
who?
Chat. There's another cast member named Group Chat that is a part of the season.
What the group chat got to do with that situation? We wasn't even in the group chat at that time.
Shit, but I'm saying that's where, if you being honest with yourself, that what
Oh, you talking about
with all these holes,
as the season
with
go
these
along?
holes,
You talking about group chat?
these
Reggie, we're talking about this at the
We're talking about
dinner.
you're talking about at the dinner, but you're talking about as the season goes along. You talking about this new cast member group chat?
yeah, that
Okay,
what make
that group chat does make their way in as the season go along, but not in the first goddamn episode.
Oh, and I agree with everything y'all are saying, but I'm confused as to who was added in here.
He said
No, he's talking
group
about
chat,
the group chat.
Group chat.
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm confused as who was
No,
added.
the actual group chat.
The actual
No,
group
he's saying
chat
that
was
the
added.
group
Is the
chat is
added
technically the
Y'all
new
keep
cast
saying
member.
group chat. I get y'all saying group chat. I'm trying to figure out who the person was that was added.
There's no person. It's the
No,
group
Brandon, you're an
chat.
idiot. You're an idiot, Brandon. You're an
I'm so
idiot. It's
confused.
the
person
person
is
is
named
group chat.
Group Chat.
Yes,
Nigga, damn.
group
I'm
chat
trying to
is
be
the
I'm trying to be
person
My
we're
funny
talking
bad.
skin.
about.
I'm trying to be
I
funny
get it
skin,
now.
Brandon.
Yeah, but when the
My
person
fault.
said it, he
Fucked
said
up.
there was a new person
Come on,
added.
Will.
The
My
group
fault,
chat.
side. I was
He
so
was
wrong.
saying he was
Right.
personifying the group chat being a person.
What y'all talking about now? My bad.
No, like he was saying it as a joke because there's a lot of,
I just need y'all to get it together.
Yeah, group chat does make their way in, unfortunately.
So as part of production as an editor, so compared to like the other shows like Chasing Atlanta and stuff like On the Way Up and stuff like that. So do y'all feel like our show is on par, with in terms of quality, how it looks compared to pilot season, the OG season?
Okay. So what I'm not gonna do? Listen, I'm gonna correct you and quit doing that, Reggie.
Please quit.
First off, everybody shows looks good. We're
Yes.
not finna be those. We're not
No,
finna be
we're
those
not gonna
people.
do that.
We're not finna be those people. The reason why I set it off is gonna take off because we're not those people. And let's be clear, we don't have to
Well,
compare ourselves to nobody as far as looking
Nobody. We're in
better or
our
none
own
of that
lane.
stuff because we have our own lane, we have our own type of cast, and we have something that a lot of people don't have. But we're not gonna compare ourselves to nobody. You
all
feel
right,
me?
so
So I don't
I'm
think
gonna
that
go ahead and
Reggie. I don't think that Reggie was
that's what I'm
meaning
saying.
it in a sense to
No,
like.
Brandon, let me defend myself, Brandon, real quick. Hold on. I
But
gotta get these people.
don't mention them.
Hold on.
Hold on. Don't mention them because the reason why I say that is because this live could be taken a different way.
Go ahead and explain yourself, Reggie.
Because I'm asking because me and Brandon feel like we did like a whole different take on this season. So I just want, and we look up
Absolutely.
to the show. So we just wanted. That's why I'm asking as a
let's
point
not
of
answer that
just
because some of us
them
are
if you
on
care.
other shows. So
Okay.
That's why I said
So
what I said because
so
I'm
for whatever
on
reason,
other shows too.
Reggie's audio is kind of effed up right now, and somebody is playing around with their phone. I don't know what's going on. But I'm going to say that I don't think Reggie was trying to compare us to other shows. I think the way he was trying to word the question was compared to other shows out there that we obviously have all seen and watched. How do you think we fit in with them? Not saying if we're better or worse than them. Like, how do you
Okay, so now when you
say?
say it like that, that makes more sense because people. The only reason why I jumped in like so quick is because people like to take clips from live
Right.
and they want to flip the story like, oh yeah, set it off saying they better than it. No, we're not doing that. No, 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 no. That's the only reason why I said it. But when you word it like that, we actually fit in pretty good. We look good. We look
Yeah,
real
like I
good for this.
said earlier, we have great quality, and I think the best part about it is we have our own aesthetic.
Right.
Like I feel like when it came down to the looks of the confessionals, the look of the show itself, our
Well,
intro,
some looks in the confessionals.
okay.
That part.
There is no, because who, see, Black, see, you got to start me up. Shut up.
No, listen.
Anyway.
I tell them London. I don't know what you had on, but I didn't like it. I did not like it. I'm not. That's my friend. I love London. I tell him he was sitting right here, London. We next time we gonna go shopping, baby, because that went in. Nah, and I know I ain't look like grand or anything like that because I was supporting big boys out here in the streets. But listen,
Well, I ain't gonna touch on it because London don't like me. So,
that's
but
my baby, London, my baby, man. That's my dog.
I think we have a great aesthetic. I honestly do. Like the first episode looked really nice, so I'm ready to see how the rest of the season gonna go. But yes, I can understand where Reggie coming from, but I also understand where Black coming from because we have a lot of newer bloggers who
Right.
are very big on clickbait and they like to use certain pieces and things and flip the script on
Hence
it.
for the
And
live that's happening later today for clickbait.
no shade, but yeah, like I just I get where you're coming from, but I feel like in general our aesthetic is so original that we are definitely could be a conversation piece without being compared.
Right. We got some of the top people in Atlanta sharing and watching our stuff.
And
Like
no
and,
shade, we actually have real drama.
and we do. We do.
We actually have real drama despite all the other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like none of us may not like each other for real or whatever had transpired throughout the season. We actually have real issues going on. So
Yeah, but
it's
JT, you know something? Despite us not liking it, like some of us not really, 'cause I really like feel like everybody. I mean, I had my issues with certain people or whatever like that, but I really want to see what y'all do from it. Like the new cast
hmm
members, I want to see what y'all career goes from this point. Like I'm
right.
so excited to see that. Like that's why I love shouting y'all out. So when I tell y'all this cast is like no other, it's like no other, man. Y'all get on my fucking nerves, but y'all are like no other. I can't wait to see what y'all do with it. For real, for
I,
real.
I'm with you, Black. I'm curious to see what the new cast, what they make from being on this platform. Do they utilize it to their advantage? Do they do they appreciate it? Do they run from it? Do they disrespect it? Like, I'm just curious to see where everybody goes with it and how they move forward. So, despite if I care for them or not, I'm curious.
Absolutely.
And this is the other thing. And I'm of course I'm not a person to put nothing for nobody to say in their mouth. But this is the thing that I think that grinds my gears, and I'm tired of hearing of it. And normally I pay shit no mind, but this senior citizen old shit it needs assist. Like if people can watch Bravo and watch these white women that are 50 or plus 60 and congratulate them and give them applause, why can't you give a black gay man that's on a web reality series the same respect? That's all I'm
Listen,
saying.
I
And
want you.
those
I
that are
want you
in
to.
their 40s and 50s, like that's all I'm saying.
I want you to
Can
understand.
I would like to
I think
respond
it's
to that
all
right
about how you
quick.
carry yourself.
No, it
I
ain't
would like
even that. Before
exactly.
No, because you got
JT,
white women that
hold
on
on,
these shows that
before
don't
No,
carry
no, no.
JT,
It's
themselves
about
like
how you
that.
carry yourself.
but hold on,
But these
hold on.
white women
Before
on these
JT,
Bravo shows that 60,
no,
50, 60 plus don't carry themselves quite right either.
hold on, Terrence, hold on. Before JT say something, because I feel like we're gonna probably be slick on the same page. Um, the thing is, you got to realize what type of community we are in. And the reason why, and maybe JT may not even agree with me with this shit, knowing her, never mind. But the reason why people have so much to say about the older crowd because it's not seen. Nobody's showing that at all. They're
Exactly.
not showing the older crowd. And you got to understand the community that we're in is full of haters. Also, people say they support each other, but our community is full of haters, bro. So
I get that.
they're gonna say, oh, they old, but the fact is, and I agree with y'all, it is all about how you carry yourself, and also you really working. You're working. You have these different platforms. You're older. You're doing all this stuff that us young people are still doing. You feel what I'm saying? So they're gonna always have something to say about y'all being old, regardless.
But there are people that gonna pray that they get to be our ages. There are people who don't live to be our ages.
Well, I just want to say
And
this
that
real quick
especially
about
in our
though,
community.
but for instance, you know, like how people come at Tony, if you really think about it, don't nobody disrespect Enrique like that.
Don't nobody disrespect Enrique because Enrique earned that respect.
Exactly. It's about
Okay,
how
and
you.
let me get my quick little
But
thought
this is
on
the
this
thing.
because
I'm
I
not
know I was
singling
that person.
anybody out. I'm not singling
I was that
anybody out.
person
There
who
are
said that
people
stuff
on this
too, though.
cast who are over 40. There are multiple people on this cast that are over 40. Right? So I'm not singling anybody out. I'm saying in general. In general, Enrique is included in that. Just because people respect him does not mean when you say it, it includes all of it. There are people who don't get to be our ages
I feel
in
where you
our
coming from.
community. That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about. I don't give a fuck about throwing shade, but there are
I
people who
want to
don't
say
not
this.
reach that.
Can y'all
What,
hear me?
JT? Yeah.
Go ahead, JT.
Okay, so what I was going to say real fast is that for me, I'm not an ageism type of person. I respect my elders. I respect anybody who
Yeah, you an
shows
elder.
me. Okay, period. But like at the end of the day, it's like for me, it's how you, like Chauncey was saying, not only how you carry yourself, but how you treat the people that you say you
Absolutely.
are of age over you. You know what I'm saying? If you're
Absolutely.
going to be that person and be an elder, then you need to be a person that's going to be instilling something in the people that are coming up.
But
And I
not
feel like when it comes down to certain relationships, a perfect example would be like we were talking about Enrique. Enrique has been that person, like he checks in on me, he texts me randomly, he's always been kind to me. So with that comes the respect reciprocated. Now, if we were being specific, if I want to say the same thing with Tony, I gave Tony that same exact respect where I never spoke on him in any ill fashion until he spoke ill of me. So
right.
then when it comes down to it, I respond in a way where it's a no holds barred thing. Like I'm from South Carolina. You can ask Bless Klein. From South Carolina, we call it janking. So when it comes down to it, if we're going to be getting into it, I'm going to go below the belt. I'm going to do whatever it is. And I don't mind you going below the belt with me. We can go back and forth. But at the end of the day, there is a no holds barred game. But if you
Right.
don't want it to be in that space, you don't put yourself in that space.
That's
Be the
true.
adult and remove yourself and act like an adult. But Tony, but like I said specifically, Tony does not move in that way. So therefore, there's always going to be a lack of respect between me and him because he never gave me respect. He pretended like he wanted to give respect, and that's what it comes
Okay.
down to a lot of people. Because I heard him say a few things, but we're not gonna get into all of that.
Okay, so let's
But
speak about
yeah,
even with Terrence being on the live or whatever like that. Now I
right.
can say Terrence came in this season. Terrence came in here on his best behavior this season. Let's be clear. And it was a lot of people around us that said different things like, "Oh, his energy is off. It's this and that and third." First
Right.
off, the thing about it is you gotta understand, like you said, you give respect to get respect. And Terrence the type of person, he'll sit back and he'll watch you before he say anything to you. That does not
Mm-hmm.
mean he's a bad person or his energy is off or anything like that. But he has certain issues, and this is why I feel like he's coming from about the whole respect factor. Because he has certain issues that weren't even warranted by him. He didn't start those issues. It was because other people had said certain things or whatever like that. And then it's like, okay, now I feel like I gotta respond because these people don't know me.
I love for you to be specific. I want to know.
Y'all just watch the season of Set It Off ATL, okay? Just watch, keep watching.
Oh, I think you know. And I'll just leave it there. So I'm gonna let you ponder on that because you're very intelligent. So let you ponder on that, and I know you know.
Yeah, she
Oh,
knows.
I really, I know, I want to know.
Oh, you
She
know.
knows.
Oh, you know. We're not gonna do that, but you know. So I just leave
To
that
me,
there.
I don't know.
No, we
Okay.
just gotta watch the season.
Okay. I'm sure you do though, but it's okay.
Let's just say it's gonna be a
I'm
lot of
swear to y'all I
conversations at the
don't.
reunion.
Because one thing Turnstile doesn't do, he doesn't bother nobody unless somebody bothers him.
Absolutely, and that's facts.
And when
Now
you
I can
bother me,
definitely
if you
say
poke
that.
me too many times,
With your
beware.
old ass,
If you say so, Terrence.
Yep, if I say so, and I said it.
with your
Okay,
old
we
ass.
love that.
KT with my old ass.
I'm screaming. We love that.
Yes,
But
and I
let me
love it
get up.
too,
Let me
even
get up
more.
off of here, y'all. Man, I love y'all. I'm gonna talk to y'all a little bit
Y'all enjoy the
later.
rest of
Hopefully,
your
y'all
Friday.
come out to my show tonight. And tomorrow. You know, the people are busy out here in these streets. Unlike some of the other people, you know, y'all can't set it off like I can. Okay.
Baby, set it off the only way you can, baby.
Let me stop talking shit. I'm for real, y'all. I love y'all, man.
We always number one when she get
Friday.
Hey, I gotta go too. It was nice talking to y'all. I had things to do.